another episode of the Star Corner. And on this episode, we got our known dance crew. Just waiting for them to join us. Join us. Why don't you join us? Crew's easy. Hey, and I know dance crew. We got him. Oh, you know, to low budget life.
Understand? It's not even there yet. It's not even there yet. It's like his own life.
What's happening, bruh?
Oh, good man. How you guys doing?
All good.
Liquor. So my phone on. So firstly, welcome to the Store Corner. This is a bit of an introduction. This is a show where, I have stars such as yourself, and in my opinion, a star is not someone that is defined by the amount of followers that they have or the amount of fame, but it's someone that continues to work hard, that has a work ethic such as your crew has, that continues to persevere and continues to shine as a star in the night sky. And, not to make anybody jealous that's been on the show before, but this is a very special broadcast to me. Firstly, I got family members on the show. Shout out to Uncle Edo, my cousin. And then secondly, people don't know, but we mean to make me dry. We're literally like a few roads away here. We both from Ocean View, trying to just uplift the community, man. And you guys have been doing that for a number of years now, just uplifting the community, supporting the people of Ocean View. And there's been so much talent that has come out of Ocean View that people don't even know. There's been Darren Lamb, Youngster, Oscar Peterson, and somebody that you might know. I had the opportunity of meeting Lukman Adams. He asked me, where am I from? And I said, Ocean View. And he said, you know who I know from Ocean View? And he said, the unknown dance crew. And I said, yes, I got family. So firstly, how was the crew formed? Anybody can feel free to answer that question.
Well, the crew was formed back in 2010. Actually a mistake.
Yeah, it was an accident, bro.
It was an accident. We had to compete in a talent search. So I was a solo at the time, and then EK and another friend of ours, they were a crew. And then there was only one spot left, and then they decided to put us together. And then from there it just became, we had the image, we had the mask, I had the mask, and then they had the moves, they had the name. So we're like, it was only meant to be. And I think from the beginning, Uncle E was the person that was there with us from the whole beginning. So that's how the crew got formed, and the frame fell out, and different members started to come in, and then we started to mold into what we are today. We had Carlo, and then we had Breezy, and we just became a bond, and we became a big ass friendship. Yeah,
100%, bro.
Now, why the name unknown?
Now, it just basically symbolizes the fact that you can't see who we are under the mask. It gives the viewers a chance to basically judge us only on the talent and not on the appearance.
Yeah.
Basically, you know what I'm saying? So basically, just to sort of take away the discretion of just judging people on their appearance or what they look like on stage. It's more just focusing on the talent and the message we bring across. So unknown is just basically, it's a genuine word. It's not like bias, like with gender, with race, that sort of thing. It's just a genuine overview of, you're not sure who's under the mask, you're not sure what we're going to do. Only thing we can guarantee, you're going to be amazed by the talent's going to be on stage, bro. So that's all that came across. I know it's just born because of that animosity. So that's probably the best ones I can give, bro.
Yeah, to add to that, generally in the past, you have dancers are always sort of judged by the expression on their faces. So basically with them, to make this even unique, exactly what Aaron actually had to say. So you take at that sort of formula, and we add something new where you need to look at the actual dancing. So focus changes, so that's what makes them unique as well.
Yo, I can relate to that because people laugh at me. They say when I dance, it looks so emotional because I'm always dancing. My tongue is sticking out the whole time.
Yeah, bro, it come out, bro. It come out. Same like why Michael always grabs his crotch when he dances. He doesn't know why, but the music just takes him there, bro. So it's the same. It's the same thing. Oprah asked him the same question, bro. He couldn't answer. He couldn't answer.
So the next thing that I have not really a question, but wait, the thing is slapping up. So for all the haters that are out there in the world, man, I feel like before you hate on something, you need to educate yourself, or before you comment, you need to understand the thing. This isn't really a question, but kind of a statement, and you guys can tell me if you agree or not. So over the years, there's been many that have compared it to Jabberwockies and say that you are a Jabberwockies copy.
Yeah.
Let's say that Jabberwockies are the first people to come out with a mask. And before I decided to address this, I actually did my research because back in the old 1970s and 1980s, hip-hop dancers all had their way of getting into character, whether it was dressing up as zombies, such as in MJ's videos, whether it was wearing suits or wearing masks. And people don't know in the 1970s, the first time the mask and the white gloves were symbolized was by strutting through in San Francisco. So keep up the work, the good work. I at all don't at all see you guys close to the Jabberwockies. Like you said yourself in the interview, you said once you get off stage, people's like, nah, they're their own. They should be identified as who they are and not the fuck.
Exactly, just that.
And I would like to add, well done on that, by the way.
Yeah,
we are shocked by that. Big up. That was the main thing that we've been trying to say for years. We've been trying to, reiterate the same thing, that it's more about the art, not about how you look. If you enjoyed it, at the end of the day, that's our purpose. Then we are done. If you understand it, because we feel very like we have our own image and we have a local image that we would like to keep, and we're not trying to be them locally, more us, bring local internationally.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sure.
Awesome. Nah, I completely enjoyed it. I heard at the performance Saturday, die was 'n antie wat hier buite gestreed. Hulle heup is nogal los, joh. So wat jy guys gebruik julle kar? Hoe is julle so los? How did guys get so loose, man?
I think I will say, because Sika will be the one that is loosest in the crew. So for sure, I think when it comes to
You must lose what? Oh, that would.
That's all of it, audition.
But also on the note of the Michael Jackson thing, I think it's just the music, man, that allows your body to move a certain type of way. And with the mask also, so I think the mask and the music is a perfect blend. Because with the expression, the blank expression of the mask, your body can portray a character and it can project to the crowd that is the character. So I think the music plays a big part in where our bodies move, where it goes, how it moves. So when it comes to that, you should just let go, let it out, and just express yourself. Because if you're not gonna be that person that is not gonna be expressive, you do it like small, and people is not gonna they're not gonna enjoy it. So you have to, especially if you don't have a face, like with your facial expressions and all of that. Especially if you don't, you're gonna have to speak with your body.
100%.
So I feel that is how we base our body movements with the music. So where the music goes, our body goes. Whether it be a girl, guy, a robot, we do it more, bro.
Just keep it boxes, bro.
I'm hearing it's kind of like the mask is kind of your blank canvas, and your move is the painting utensil.
100%. You can make a meme out of it, bro. You can make a meme out of it. That's a code in itself, bro.
Next question, why? Because I have seen each of you individually, sorry caller, they say that you wouldn't lost a day in the battle, so I'm sorry about that. But each of you individually, you guys stand on. I want to know why decide to be theatrical dancers instead of being just a normal dance crew? Because you guys have that ability to be a normal dance crew.
Good question, bro. Good question.
I'll take that question. So basically, you get normal dance crews every day. You get them everywhere. So basically, we're trying to be unique to separate ourselves from being normal. These daily dance crews. I'm not saying that. I'm not differentiating in any way, but just to, how can I say, put it in a unique way. That we have our own special style. We have our own special moves. Everything is different. So we're just trying to be different in a way. So that's it, yeah.
And added to that, we want to be more relatable to our fan base and to the crowd. As you know, like we have a lot of Afrikaans, colored culture in our mixes. So exactly, the gimmicks as well. So we like to portray like what people see every day, what people do in their daily lives, and weirdly enough, people get entertained by watching something that they can relate to. And that was the key that we knew. Okay, we got something here, and that's where theatrical. We can call it local theatrical at the moment because we are catering just for whoever's there at that moment, at that time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it's like also like a weird sense of like the people don't actually relate to the moves per se, is because they live through that moment somewhere along the line. They've seen it on TV, they heard a commercial, they're like, okay, that sound takes them back to a memory where they first saw it, and now they associate that memory with the dance crew, and they're almost like it's a new spin of like the memory of that sound that they heard for the first time. Yeah. So it's like a new experience for them entirely.
Here we go.
Yeah, awesome. You know, it is relatable because in the sound, they listen to TV, and I had no idea until I did my research in the week that was Tarique doing all those different voices.
Yeah. It is.
So I want to know, Tarique, from you, what made you decide to add this, you know, this voices in between the songs, and where do you get the inspiration? Is it Uncle Eero? Because I know he's old school also. Where do you get your inspiration for those old school songs to add in? And it married so perfectly with the voices. Each sound that you choose for each voice, and each other sound effect, it just married so perfectly. So where does the inspiration come from?
I can tell you that the advantage we have as a crew is we are different eras, different. We listen to different, we diverse, we listen to different genres of music, and Uncle E would come to us with an old school track, Carlo. So that sticks in my head, and I'm like, okay, cool. How would I feel if I'm watching someone that's telling me everything that I normally say to people in the street? And that's why I got an idea, and I was like, what if we add our voices, well, my voice in the mix? Would kind of change the game? Because like you said, people compare us to Jabberwockies, and we needed a way to step away from just being a normal dance crew. Like Carlo said, we needed to step away from being completely completely generalized. So what we did was to add the voices. We knew that was going to give it a new edge to the mix. Like you said, it marries perfectly. So that's where it came from, just looking around and watching our community, man, and just being inspired by our culture, being inspired by our people. And we would just like to portray that to our people. And that's where that came from.
You know, like it's a family life and that. I got my sister on, I got my yeah, so tell me what you also. Next question that I have, do you guys still remember your first gig, whether it was paid or not, and what was it like, and what was the practice session like? Because I know you guys have dealt well, but ik het gezien hoe strui jullie samen met elkaar already. I saw the behind the scenes.
That's another topic, bro. The arguments is another topic. Most of the time, to be honest, it's mostly me and this guy here. It always goes. But it's more of the idea of the look of a certain part of the mix that we want to change. So he has an idea, I have a different idea. And it's like, he gives it, I'm like, nah, but that's not going to work with you. And it's just vice versa all the time, and it goes off. But I think to answer your question, how it started, our first show has to be Navy Day, we were 3. We didn't have any mirrors to practice it. So we used to practice in the lounge inside of my house here, and then we actually used the TV's reflection to see each other's moves to make sure we're doing it the same. So we basically started from like I would say the ground, like in itself. We didn't have a system, we didn't have a proper space to practice. So every day after school we used to come and push my mommy's furniture out of the way, dirty the floor, use the TV, because mommy couldn't watch TV, switch the TV off, just to practice for like a 2 hour, 3 hour, and a jam session, all that other stuff. And I'm not gonna lie to you, the lounge used to have that certain stench of like, people knew there was work, you can smell the work. So like the gym, like a gym smell, you get that, you get that. So you can imagine that in my mommy's comments of all that practice session. So we definitely remember that the 2 guys joined like afterwards as well. So the same thing, we used to practice in a room. We used to lift up people's beds, move the stuff around. It used to be always used to be cramped. Like now, even now, the space we have is not as adequate as what we wish, but we make it work as much as possible. So we definitely remember all our shows, remember all the bad ones as well. And there is a couple. There is a couple.
So first couple. You know what? I respect that so much because I haven't been in too many crews, but I've been in a few, and I've always realized that the guys they wanna run before they start crawling. I think okay, let's practice. There's showers and refreshments and we eat the smoothies. And I'm like, bro, we're just starting. There's nobody that knows that. Oh, how can we do that? But the second, not the second question that I have, I don't think somebody asked you this question before. I was going, you guys kept me awake with all the hard work now because there was a lot to research. In every post, the Converse shoes, where did the love for the Converse sneakers come in?
Sorry, say it again. The love for the
Converse shoes.
Converse shoes, yeah.
That just straight me, bro. Like, that's straight me. I'm a Converse fanatic all the way. I've been like it since I was young already. I don't know for what it. I don't know actually where it started, but I just knew that the shoe was the only one I could actually wear at the time. Growing up, I was really nerdy, so I used to be check shirts, skinny pants, and then chucks. Always used to be black or white, like always. I think it's just probably like bronze stuff like that as well. But you got this guy like to be Vans as well. You got the knife fan at the back. You got
three stripes.
you got Nikes. I'm the only one that's a Converse fanatic, bro. So just I don't know, just sort of stuck with me, I guess. All stars all the way, bro.
And I mean, if you start out, there's affordability as well.
Yeah.
So basically, at the time, it's the affordability for Unity, basically the look, and that actually just worked because the high top with the tracksuit type thing, it just gave that little edge. So that helped as well.
Yeah, that's actually so good. I'm putting it out there. We're looking for sponsorship from Soviet. Thank you for allowing us to dance on your shoes on stage. Sponsors.
My God was a sponsorship. And another thing, I just surprised so many fans at parties. There's a matric learner that has done a project on you. You guys have done community events. What does it mean? And you've also done the annual RTM festival. What does it mean to have a support, such a big support structure, and to
can you repeat quickly again because I think you froze up on our side.
So basically, it's just about the support structure in Ocean View.
yeah, and why is it important for you to give back to them? Sorry, I got a notification that popped up and looking up everything.
Support for us is very important because we've over the years that we've been a crew, we've seen many acts, especially in Ocean View, fail because of the lack of support and the lack of understanding the act. So for us to hear that we still got the support to this day, like last week Saturday, it was so crazy to see that everybody, I won't say everybody came for us, but a lot of people came when we performed. And to know that we're still relevant and we still get that support, it just makes you want to go harder. Because without support, it feels like you're missing something, you don't know the drive. So our fans is actually our drive. And the COVID year that we had, the year past, not being interactive with our fans and not getting to see their faces live, it was the hardest for us. And I can definitely say we were almost thinking of ending it in the crew because our fans is such an important factor in our crew that like without them I don't think we'd be able to even sit here and still be talking to you, and we'd call it already. So it's, especially in Ocean View, it's a major deal for us. Major deal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
One of the sequence you guys have been in, I think about 8 music videos now. One of the music videos even got nominated for a Summer Award.
Yeah.
I want to know by each individual, is there still an artist, whether locally or internationally, that you see yourself performing with on stage or whose music video would like to be in?
And you're gonna say what? You're gonna say Tarique. Look at you're gonna say Tarique, bro. Tarique, bro. All the way, bro. Yeah, I'll probably say like I'm a big fan of Cly as well. He makes a lot of trap soul music. I think we dope to feature with him as well. He's a local artist from Johannesburg, so I think it would be dope to feature with him.
How do you guys go? Well, mine has been made because I know I'm an old school fan, so it's Pizzas and Herbs. I've been on stage with all for one. So yeah.
What about that? Please.
No, that's so hard to talk. But I think locally, because we had like like past experience with major names in the music industry, whether it be any type of form of. But I would say I would like to dance with a Casper in your vest, and in an international one, I would go with Chris Brown.
Hey,
No doubt about
hey,
that.
for sure.
Oh, basically,
You guys can
it's just
artists such as youngsters who much Evers, just to name a few, and he performed at so many gigs. And one thing that I've noticed is that nearly at every place, organization, radio station, corporate such as Obito, KFM, RCFM, they've always called you guys back again and again. Why? What is it about your crew specifically that they keep on calling you back and not think, okay, give them a break, let's try find somebody else? What is it about you that makes you so unique?
well, basically, I'm in contact with most of the clients, and one of my biggest questions I always ask them is why? What intrigues them? But then to add to that as well, you heard our mixes, so we always sort of just touch on a certain factor, and then sort of we pull away back to make it sort of to keep it local and colored. Ons maak jou lus. So basically, we always have that sort of factor in there, wanting more. And what we thrive on is not to have our performances too long. So we try. So a 10-minute will feel like a 5-minute, and I've experienced that already. Where somebody come to me and say, "Listen, we want the crew, but we want him for 5 minutes." So I said, well, your 5 minutes is going to feel like 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes. Why not try a 10-minute? And then when we get to the show and perform, then they'll say, yo, that went good. And I said, that's the idea, to have the little snippets of the different mixes, the different genres in there, because people never know what's coming. And because of that element that's in there, they know they're going to get something different. Whereas there's quite a few people, like a mutual or something, that we always go back to them, or they always ask us back. But then they always challenge us. Like one that we just did online for them, something recent where they had the financial year in. And then I always ask the question, well, who did we dance for the last time? Well, they say, well, that's the account department. Who was the other people? Oh, that was the IT people. So I said, didn't they all see it? And that's where it helps us as well, by asking the certain questions as to who's the audience. And then because based on that, then I'll go back to them and say, guys, this is the type of audience we got. This is the requirement. What can we put together with that concern? And then they sort of pull it off. And I must commend them. There's many times that they dig their heels in and say, no, it might not work. And then the brainstorming go. Then I would say, like, just check it out. Let's see if we can put something together. So it's a back and forth. But at the end of it, we actually deliver most of the time. Most of the time, for sure.
Gandang, you're like a choir manager. I've got with celebrities or being music videos with celebrities, there's something uncommon. You guys got to throw a celebrity in the back of a car. How did it feel throwing Craig Lucas in the back of a car?
Well, basically it was just like a music video, so we could actually start the show off. So the trailer started where we actually kidnapped him. We threw him at the back of the street. We threw him in, and then we had to take him to the show, basically. So basically we had to deliver him there. That's how the show started. So yeah.
So it was basically an intro to a show, and it was at Grand Arena.
Yeah,
I think that's
Grand Arena.
So basically, they wanted us to do something special with him. Robin Peters, shout out to Robin Peters. He got this whole storyline, virtually into a live show. So the best crew you could ask, who looks also like criminals, is us.
With the mask.
And I mean, it was an honor just to throw him in the back of a booth.
Even if it's for a couple of seconds, I mean, we got to push a guy in the car.
Yep.
Well, I'll get arrested, so that is fine. That is fine.
But to answer to tell me they would have loved to perform, but due to the space. But for everybody on here, if you're coming from my page or that, I suggest that you follow them to check out their performances. Go to their YouTube, TikTok. They even went 80K now. They're gonna get much more followers on TikTok. And the next thing I have to ask is, I'm a firm believer in faith, and our faith helps you in your line of success. And there's a scripture called Habakkuk 2 and 2, where it says, write your vision and make it plain so that you sees it will run to it. And something that I've seen, there was a post that you guys made a few years ago, where each individual said their name, their favorite food, what they like doing, and the last question was, where do you see yourself in the few years? And almost basically every of you said you see yourself performing on an international level. And you guys went to Namibia. I know you guys want more, but I mean, at the start, a slow process, you guys went to another country. How did it feel traveling to a completely different country and performing there?
Yeah.
For sure.
How do you feel performing in Namibia?
Yeah, for sure.
Life changing. I think we were sitting in the plane and like we were just, just thinking back of all our hard work paying off. And till today, it still trips us out and by the way, Namibia was the dopest tour that we've been on. I have to say, the love. So, for us to, I feel like we knew, but we never wanted to jinx our future. We always said that we're gonna be big. We're gonna be on an international stage one day, and for it to come full circle was just, it was perfect. It was perfect. Like you said, writing down your visions and it became true. And for us, even like I'm taken back by what you just said, because we did say that we want to be at international level. So we're so busy that we don't even get to like,
really enjoy it.
Really like look back and just be happy for what we have achieved. But like on that day we went on the plane, we finally got to really just like look, okay, we're really doing this as a dance crew, which is very rare in South Africa, to really go international as an artist by yourself. So we are very, very proud of that.
It's basically an experience we can't like describe in words. You need to like sort of be there to get the energy, that atmosphere of having to fly and get your passport just to perform for another country. And it's like they want you there, so you don't have a choice but to go to another country and just like murder that entire thing. And that was like it was sort of like an honor in itself of that nobody else can sort of take away, and like we can't read to it, man. It's something that's like a one-time only thing, and you could only I'm sure if we go back, it's not going to be as hyped as it was the first time we went over. So it was definitely an experience in itself that we will cherish forever.
Yeah.
Awesome. You guys saw in Mark My Famous, which I think is the thing that skyrocketed your career. You guys made the whole Ocean View proud. You were there first, you guys got eliminated, and then Emo Adams decided to bring you back, and you guys made it to the top 5. And correctly if I'm wrong, but I think Emo told you guys, I believe in you more than you believe in yourself. On a professional level and on a personal level as well.
How did that feel when Emo told us?
Oh, when he told us, that was so humbling. It was so humbling for us, and we couldn't believe, like, one of South Africa's major artists, like Emo Adams, his name alone is enough to impress you. So him changing his mind, and it wasn't even planned, it was just an executive spur of the moment. And he saw something, because you guys won't probably believe me when I say, like, shooting on a Tuesday and a Thursday, having one day to prepare, that, and for our craft, our art is difficult, because we constantly have to bring up something new every second day. So the pressure got so much on us that we started to cave. We wanted to give up. There was times where we didn't feel like we wanted to be in this competition because it got so much. But we fought. And with Emo saying those words, I just brought us back, man. Like, look, we're on the stage now for a reason, man. We still have a reason, we still have a purpose that we need to fulfill. And for him to see that without us knowing, there was something special. Now we're still carrying that words. As we're going on day by day. So I think those words were very encouraging. It motivated us more to keep on pressing. And it was such an honor to work alongside him and his amazing team.
Yeah, for sure.
Tarique, plus you must understand the magnitude of what they went through. So if you think about it, they were there, the show was Tuesday, and so basically it was Tuesday, Thursday. So they had Monday to prepare, and then perform Tuesday, and then they sort of go into the next round. So basically, like Breezy said, they had to come up with new moves, new music, mix it, put it together, check whether it works. So it was a good challenge to actually, just generally as a challenge that they never had before. So basically, they had one day to prepare.
It's also something that is considered nearly impossible to perform for such a big crowd, and they have to come up with new mixes immediately to the next day. But I know JP also said that you guys during the year of COVID and that, I mean, we're still going through COVID right now, it made you guys so despondent, but you fought back and you continue to persevere, and you guys had the virtual show. Talk a bit about the virtual show. How was the experience of doing, because you know we are now living in the digital environment. So how was the experience of performing online?
The virtual show went great. It was a first for us to do because we never know. We're so used to performing live that we used to a response and they used to feeling our energy. So for us to do a virtual show was, we went back and forth deciding should we do it, should we not, and then we got to the decision that we're going to do it, and it actually really went well. It showed that again that, like you said, the support structure, our support structure was there, and we wanted to give back to our fans and show them that we're not giving up on us, and we went through it, and it was amazing, man. It was dope. We had some dope artists, whether it's Forbes, which was the MC of the show.
A lot of our art, like famous friends, basically pull through us just to pull something like that off. I mean, people's been asking for us to have our own show for a long time. And I think because COVID pushed the whole world and the artistry into a digital environment, we were kind of like took that opportunity to actually put something together for the fans to say, look, this is sort of like a movie experience of the unknown. You get to see us in dancing in different environments and not just a normal average, okay, here's a stage, here's a curtain, and you just dance. So now we bring it to a more personal level, to more storyline based, to show the real theatrical side of the film, what we can do with the actual equipment and like the ideas that we come up with. Creativity was on another level.
We had to be on another level. So it also gave the people who also is at live shows that never get to, you know, hear the mix, or they never get to watch us properly. It gave them opportunity to finally just watch without no one in front of you. So it was very intimate, like you said. So, and it was dope. Thank you to everybody for really supported last year. It was really nice.
Yo, like live is going international, people. We somehow got the actor that was in the Pop and Lock Roll movie. I don't think it's so odd, but he's just going now. The live is going international. A last question that I have for you, because like I said, I'm still in a duo with my friend, and fortunately we've been long. You know, we don't get together as much. It's more of an on and off thing. But in other crews that I've joined and crews that I've witnessed, it's always this argument, especially when it comes to choreography. There's always this bonding that kicks in when things don't work out, when there's a fail on stage and they break up. And to be together for 10 years to continue grinding, what is the secret for you guys being so tight as a brotherhood, as a friendship, being so tight on stage, and despite the certain hiccups, certain arguments, still sticking together and still continue to persevere?
Well, that's actually a very good question, though. To be honest, we all went to school together. So this is now before we actually started to dance together and become sort of like businessmen or business partners together. The friendship was there already before, and so it was easy to work with somebody that you're really comfortable with and that you can trust. I think trust is probably the key factor in this, in the fact that our personalities blend so nicely together. Like, if I had to pick a side, like we have our moments where me and him is closer, the two of them are closer, then we Breeze have a moment, the two of them have a moment. It's always like we gel so liquid together that everything we do together, we think the same, we have the same path, the same idea of how we see things. So I would say for a crew like yourself at starting up is to get to know each other better outside of working together first. First, hang out, see if you guys click together as people first before and actually moving at a professional level, because that's the foundation how you're going to start. You're going to have longevity in mind. To know somebody, to trust somebody, that's how it's basically going to start. To make sure that if they come to me for anything, I will do it regardless, whether it's crew related, whether it's personal, because I trust them and there's a mutual understanding in that regard. So I would say, when anybody starting out, trust is first, get to know each other better. That's how it, like, obviously started.
Yeah, and
be friends, bro.
and also have the same vision. Have the same believe in the same vision. Believe this is where we're going, and we're not taking no shortcuts. We are going.
All goals as well is important as well. Vision, goals, ideals, it's all important.
Yeah.
You must be on the same page, generally.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was going to be my last question, but before I nearly forgot. I can't end it without asking this question. That's probably my favorite question here. So, Brandon, I heard you say that you have the weirdest input when it comes to choreography, you know? You say that, you look so fast now, but you say that choreography, you say it's the weirdest input, and you guys are known for your intimate moments on stage. Now, I know when you're on stage, the adrenaline's pumping, so you don't really care what happens, you do certain things. But there's moments when you guys kiss each other on stage and the mask is touching each other. You know, it's not really a lip, it's a mask. But now what happens in practice session, I want to know. Do the lips really touch each other or what happens there?
No,
It's a good question. Good question, bro.
I would like the level of uncomfortability where you have to be so close, as so close as not even real, but you can't even picture it as a girl or anything. So I feel without the mask, obviously we're gonna be shy, like we restricted to do certain things out of respect to the other person. But when it comes to the mask, there's no limits. There's nothing.
Yeah.
So if you are say we performing and I have to be a sexy stripper woman taking over, I can't say no.
Yeah.
I can't say no.
He is a person.
He's a
person now. So you need to go along with it. You need to finish it, bro.
And also to go back on what I said, with the mask you can do anything. So you become any person, any character, anything you can become with a mask on. So I feel when we with a mask, we don't have no limits.
Yeah.
We push boundaries where we can, but also we still respect the person next to you. So I think that this comes down
like
to
in layman's terms, you don't go that close in practice without a mask. I mean, we can't even look each other in the eyes. That's how open it is already. So we need to get the mask on. The beam is so low, it's like you just seeing plastic. You just go and you just do what you need to do and you get out, bro.
So it's a
Find the mask.
For sure.
Sorry, say again. Say it again.
I think one of your partners maybe walk into a practice session while you guys were doing those scenes. Did you ever have to tell your partner, babe, it's not what it looks like, I can explain?
You know, weirdly, our people like that. Like my girl, they like that because they don't see it every day. So like, do what you must. So she knows the work. So
they get a laugh out of it.
You know, they get a laugh out of it.
So yeah. Funny thing enough, we didn't make anybody uncomfortable. It's just like weirdly enough.
Which is weird, yeah. Nobody actually
asked us that question before. So it's a good one. So yeah.
So guys, thanks so much for joining the show. In closing, I just want to say, like I said, you guys gave me I'm not gonna say what time I went to go sleep because I wanted to be so well prepared because I know that you guys have put in the work for 10 years, and I felt that I needed to show that same level of respect by putting the work into my preparation for the show. And it's something that I've noticed and something that's very admirable. You guys have celebrated every milestone from the beginning, whether it's 500 likes on Facebook, whether it's 12 likes in your post, whether it's a few thousand views on YouTube, whether it's a small performance up until now. And you can't be grateful with a little if you're not grateful with a lot, and vice versa. And I think it's because of your appreciation for every bit of success that comes your way. I think that's the reason why God will continue to bless you guys in the future. From me, I just want to say from my side, thanks for what you are doing for the community. Thanks for what you are doing for the people. I appreciate and watching you guys' content. My mommy also says, nah, they're quiet. There's so many people that continue to say well about you guys. But not just in the performance thing, but your heart that you have for people. You guys have said it countless times in interviews that you're doing this because you want to show people that there's a better way. So I just want to salute you guys. Continue to do what you're doing. And I wish you guys many, many, many more years of success. Even when the youth isn't losing anymore, and
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us, bro. Appreciate it. Shout out to you, bro.
Much love. So guys, stay tuned for next week. You'll see who we have next week on the Star Corner. I'm not going to reveal anything yet. Why? because I don't know myself, but some make it and
No.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys.
Peace.